which is for the Viper. It's a good old Autoform hardtop, and it's just been sitting around in random places in the garage since I got the car, because I've been too busy / lazy to actually make a decent spot for it. So what I'm going to finally do is make a little hanging mount thing for it on that wall. So here's the wall I'm planning to hang the Viper roof from. I'm going to put a 2x4 across like that, drill it in right there and there. I'm going to put a hanging hook there roughly and a hanging hook there roughly. Roof will sort of hang like that on the wall. That's the plan, at least. So first step of this process is climbing up here. Alright, so that's about 6 feet and 1 inch. So that's what I'm going to cut my board for. I've got my boards right here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So if I mess up, I got a few extras to work with. Alright, so here I got my board. I'm going to measure it and then I'm going to cut it. We are going to measure 6 feet, which is right about there. Alright, we're going to clean up the edges a bit. I feel like I'm shining shoes. Alright, back out to the garage. We've got board number 1 ready. And hopefully all it takes is 1 board, because I don't want to keep wasting all the boards that I have. So now what I'm doing, I'm going to line this thing up with where it needs to be mounted, something like that. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to take my marker and mark it. There we go. Now for some drilling. So right here and right here are the marks that I made where my screws are going to be roughly going into. They're not exact, so I might have to adjust a bit, but they give me an idea of where the rafters are going to go or touch this thing and where I'm going to screw into them. So now I got to get my drill ready and start making some pilot holes. Alright, so now that I've got the pilot holes drilled, it's time to get the screws in place. I'm going to put them all the way through, and then I will mark where they hit the joists up there so that I can pilot hole drill those things. Alright, now we've got to go back up the ladder, oops, daisy, and see how it fits. So I'm marking where these are going to go just by hitting them up against the wood a few times. Got to switch bits. There we go, that took way longer than it should have. Going up. Got my pilot holes drilled here, and I circled them for whatever reason, and got my pilot holes drilled here, and I circled them for whatever reason. Now the next step is getting the board mounted up there, but before that I want to do one more thing. What I want to do is pull this out a bit and put it up against the board so I can see where the hooks on this thing match up on that, so that I'll mark them on the board, and that's where I'll put the hooks in so that it will hang pretty consistently in terms of where its hooks are. So anyways, I'll just show you. It'll be much easier to show you. Now I'm going to put the board up against where its hooks are. I'm just eyeballing it. Yeah, looks pretty good. So I'm going to mark where these hooks are going to go. So as you can see, I have marked where the hook of the roof touches on the board right there, and I've done it over here roughly. I've eyeballed it, but it's pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact. I just don't want it to look way stupidly off when it's up there. So that will tell me where I need to put the hooks in order to hang this thing. And so yet again, it's up the ladder. This is going to be a little tricky. I should probably have another set of hands here, if not 2 more set of hands. But I don't have any more set of hands, so... Finally got the screws in. It was somewhat of a pain because my pilot holes didn't go in deep enough for those long screws I had. So I had to use different screws, but that's all right. Screws are in, board's attached. We're good to go. And now the next step is to mark where I'm gonna put in my hangers, which I did right there, but now I'm gonna use a makeshift straight edge, which is just gonna be this box right here, and my permanent marker again. And I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do, and there we go. Change my bit out yet again. There's that side. And there's that side. Get my hooks. Move the shadow to make room. Now I've got these S hooks right here that are going to go on the hooks on the board that I just mounted, and then another pair of hooks that will go on the actual roof. And I'm going to connect the two so it's hanging with this chain stuff. So now I got to open the chain stuff and start determining how much of a length I want. So I got the package of chain open. Chain number 1 is done. Now for the second one. And chain number 2 done. I've decided to cut 2 more lengths of chain so that there's some redundancy in the lengths and to distribute the weight a little bit. So I'm going to cut 2 more lengths, double them up, and then hang this thing. Now I'm going to hook them to my S hook here, and my S hook here, my S hook here, and my S hook here. Alright, here we go. Hook here. And I just dropped my S hooks. And S hook has been re-S hooked. Alright, so chains are hung. Now it's a case of getting this thing up there. Oh God, how do I do this? Okay, so it's a few hours later, and as I was importing my footage, I found out that my camera didn't save the last clip that I had taken. So I just ran back out here, and as the sun's going down at the end of the day, I'm getting this last shot. This last sort of filler shot. But yeah, so here you go. Here's what it looks like. It's up, it's working. I think it looks really good, all things considered. It's a pretty straightforward, simple design that I came up with, but it's working nicely. So yeah, the roof's up there, it's looking good, happy with it. Now it's not gonna be on the floor, and now I'm not gonna trip over it, step on it, kick it, run over it, break it, or whatever. So if you have a 1994 Dodge Viper RT10 with a double bubble Autoform hardtop, you too can hang it up by making a hanging system like this one. I'm pretty darn happy with how this thing turned out. So now, on to the next project. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26,